Good morning. Today we're going to be talking about aerials. So, aerials are my favorite aspect of flipping. They consist of throwing the knife in the air and catching it. There's a whole bunch of different types of way to throw it. There's a whole bunch of different types of aerials, so like the trajectory is different, and then there's a whole bunch of different types of way to catch it. So, we'll start by the way of throwing it. The way I learned how to do a basic aerial is out of a double rollout. So, double rollout is 1-2, alright, and then you're left with the blade against your knuckles, alright? So, I learned, when I first learned my first aerial, I actually just held it like this, alright, and then I threw it up and then catch it for a basic aerial, right? So you can do a basic aerial from static too, by dropping the safe handle like this. But when I learned, and especially when you get into big aerials, you need to get that momentum started, right? Because it's kind of like physics, where force is never really, or energy is never really destroyed or created, is only transferred. So by doing a double rollout, you're creating some angular momentum that it's looking to come back the other way, right? So the double rollout actually giving you the momentum you need to throw your big para aerials. So basic aerials, basic throw, basic catch, right? The next one people learn usually is the ice pick catch. So double rollout, and then instead of catching it with palm down, you're catching it with the palm up, pinky towards the pivot, right? That's your ice pick aerial, right? Right, simple, very simple. I'm gonna just go over a couple ways of throwing it now. We'll go over the catchings after. So basic aerial, backhand aerial, right? So that's throwing it with the pivot the pinky to your pivot, right? And you're dropping the handle out, and then you're ripping it for a basic aerial momentum, right? So you can do the double rollout as well for this one, but I find this one, it's easier to get that angular momentum because you're coming from way further before you release, right? Like this one here, you're releasing for here, right? And you need to do a little bit of motion. The backhand aerial, it's got the bite handle has time to pick up speed, and by the time you let it go, it's already going pretty fast, and you can let it go for aerial. So that's the backhand aerial. Different ways of throwing it. I recently invented the backhand throw, so holding it with the pinky towards the pivots, but thumb on the other side, and then reverse hand. So you're throwing it like that, right? So it's kind of like ice pick grip, except that you're doing it upside down and throwing it like a basic grip. All right. So that's ways of throwing. Oh, there's now a new trend in the parabolic aerials, so choker fan aerials. So that's just chokers and then throwing it like that, right? That's parabolic aerials. People like Dave and Bry Guy, they really love those types of aerials. There's a lot of people doing it now. I'm not gonna start naming people because I always forget people. Well, those are the two people that came to mind. So, dudes. Another style of aerial, so you got horizontal aerials. Another way, facet of, so you got basic, parabolic, and horizontal. Okay, so horizontal is anything that goes this way, right? So the basic of the basic horizontal aerials is your helix aerial. So the way you do that one, I have a tutorial on this one. There's a couple ways of throwing it. I like throwing it I think I called it the helix method. So you do a helix, and then you end up in the basic aerial position, but horizontal, and then you just release, and then you catch it thumb inside like a thumb chaplain. right? The other way, I think my other tutorial was from the behind the 8-ball. So you do behind the 8-ball, and then when you go around the thumb the second time, you're holding the safe handle, and then you're throwing it up. So that's another way of throwing that one. There's a lot of ways of throwing helix aerials. Some people like to throw, I like to throw it like a basic aerial, but some people like to throw it like this, right? So like, I like to throw a basic aerial like this, and then you can throw an aerial. You can also throw the aerial like this, right? Which is half of a rotation less than the basic aerial. So you can do that as well in the helix aerial world, because it leads you to different positions, right? So if you want to, I don't know, start with the bite handle, and you do it that way, when you throw a half rotation, you go right to the, so you're skipping a half rotation when you're doing it. I don't even know what to call that, like, because it's still an aerial, it's just thrown from a different position. Okay, so you got helix aerials, you got vertical, you got parabolic, you have reflips. So reflips are technically an aerial, because you got to throw an aerial to do it. So reflips is just throwing it vertically, normally. So you're throwing it vertically, and then you're tapping it midway through, right? So you just gotta find where the knife stops. The way I do it is I knock it so that when it's like this, and I knock it towards the pivots. So I knock it so that you're trying to keep it from going all over the place, right? So that's technically that's the aerial. Okay. You also get the cheap reflips that I kind of came up with. It seemed like it's kind of like a reflip, except that you're grabbing it and then you're reflipping it. Okay, so that's just a reflip aerial. So I like to call mini aerials. So small aerials are just, so small in a combo, right? That's kind of called mini aerials, right? So you got your regular ones, and then you have your power aerials, right? So your power aerials usually involve going around the big body part, pretty high, and caught specifically in a different way. A bit more on the mini aerials. So you have your standard aerial transfer, right? So aerial transfer is just one basic to the other basic, right? And you can go back and forth in different positions. But if this is no spin, right? Like that's no spin. Or you can do one spin, right? So it's all about playing to see. So you got a backhand catch, right? Backhand catch is catching it the backhand like that. So backhand catch. You can catch it, backhand catch any other style. You can do it. It's all about style for some aerials, right? Like, yeah, you can do a basic aerial, but can you make a basic aerial look good? I find the backhand catch is a good way to end a combo. Just a little bit flashy, a little bit good way to, I tend to overuse that catch. All right, so then there's the backhand catch, backhand throw. Right, so backhand catch, backhand throw. Same idea. There's a backhand catch, backhand throw aerial transfer. Or you can do the Jolly Cool Roger, which is a trick invented by Lucifer. He's going to come up a couple times. So it's backhand throw, backhand catch on the other side, but then you're continuing with a fanning, and then you go back to a backhand throw, backhand catch to the other side. So it goes like this. Obviously I'm going to fuck it up. Man, this is one that I can do usually normally. It's easier to do with the safe handle. Fuck. Okay, so that was cut. I felt it. Yeah. Okay, so that's a Jolly Cool Roger. That's like I said, it's backhand throw in a aerial transfer. More mini aerials. So you got scissoring. All right. That's just, it's a full twirl with a one rotation in the middle of it, right? It's important the proper way to do it is to continue with the roll after you catch it like this. For many, many years, and I still do it when I do double scissors, you just catch it and then go down like this. It's not the proper way to scissor, but who's the one to tell me this not to do it? So, scissoring, you got helix aerials. So then you have the double scissor, right? So double scissor is a scissor, and oh Jesus, that was it. Sloppy, but that was it. So that's a double scissor. Double scissors are a little tricky. I find they're a little sporadic. You can develop consistency with a lot of practice that you have to keep up on. If you stop doing them, you know, and a few weeks later, you'll find that you'll have to relearn how to do them. So you see, you can do the same type of, like you can do double, triple, quadruple scissors. Like some people out there like will do multiple in a row. You can do pop helix aerials, right? So it's kind of like the double scissor of helix aerials. So when you catch it in the style that I call behind the 8-ball, and then you throw it again, all right, and then you catch it again for the catch, right? So that's a pop helix aerial. Bumps can be considered aerials, right? So bumps are just like bumping it off of any body part. Do that one again. Right, so technically it's still an aerial. I'm gonna forget a whole bunch, I'm sure. So backhand throw, backhand catch. So you can do aerials from Chaplains, all right? So aerial to a Chaplain, all right? And then aerial out of a Chaplain, right? So normally they're done vertically. When I first learned them, it was a vertical. So you go aerial to Chaplain, you always go from bite handle, right? Because you're shooting to get that position between the blade and the safe handle. So bite handle first, and then you're going into your vertical Chaplain, right? And then to go from Chaplain, to go through aerial again, you just get some momentum and let it go. So that took me a while to learn. It's a good one to finish the trick with. Some people like Rob or Slash will go from Chaplain to Chaplain. So Chaplain, throw, and then switch fingers and then go into another Chaplain. Really cool, really hard. I really can't do it. Some people, like maybe it's because I haven't really tried. It is a dangerous trick. You end up scissoring the blade a lot doing that trick. Trying to think now more. So like the cheap aerial, all right, you can do a helix aerial, like a rewind helix aerial, I call it. So you do a helix aerial, and then you grab it, and then you send it the other way, all right? So it's like, you can do it as a transfer as well, so like this, right? So I call that a helix aerial rewind. Rewind, just because it's not really a reflip, you're kind of grabbing it and going the other way. Okay, I think that's it for mini aerials. Now for power aerials. So power aerials, like I said, they were a style invented back before my days. So probably 2006, 2005, 2007. It's basically throwing big aerials, right? So there was never really a count, right? So in the kendama community, there's always a count when you make flips, right? So you know, when I do a triple aerial, I don't say, oh, triple aerial. I just say, you know, power aerial, or, you know, and just fuck the number of counting, the number of rotations. It would be really hard sometimes. But a lot of times you end up counting in power aerials because you want to catch open, right? I mean, some people don't catch open. It's part of their style or it's part of their routine. You catch it so that you can go into another trick. But when I like to do them, I like to land them clean and catch them open wherever I end up catching them. So in power aerials, under the legs, starting with under the legs, you can do another leg that's not really considered a power aerial. Alright, so just like underneath the leg, like that, to me it's not really power aerial, because it's not really going high, it's not really rotating more than 1.5 rotations. So under the leg aerials, right, so you can go from the outside to in, you can go from the with the same leg, you can go outside in for the other leg, right, so like this, and like this, right, and all these can be done transferring hands, right, so like this, under the leg is great, but this just to be doing one in a combo is not the best, right, so combining an under leg with the Van Gogh or under leg with the behind the back catch is how you get a good power aerial combo. So my first power aerial I learned was the behind the back. So throwing it with the right hand, catching it with the back, right hand, behind the back, right? So throwing it up really high, catch it like this. So that was my first power aerial. I just remember doing it, landing it for the first time, felt good, right? Another one of the classic power aerials is called a halo. So it's behind the back here to the behind the back here, right? Some people do it like this, and some people do it like this, right? So if you see the difference is the hand, you're catching it like this, you're catching it like that. I find it's easier like this. It's just my style, right? That's what I do. That's what I do. Okay, so that's a halo. You can do a one-handed halo. One-handed halo is throwing it behind the back, and then you're catching it like behind the back with your same hand. So one-handed halo, like this. Another one I like is the behind the back to behind the back, right? So behind the back to behind the back. I can't really do really high ones right now. I'm in my basement. So anyways, usually you would go over the head. You're trying to go over the head. Behind the back to behind the back, that's a good one. Karma Killer is from the front to the back like this without looking, right? Wow, first try. Karma Killer, it's a hard one. There's a couple ones. These are all invented, like Karma Killer, Halo, Van Gogh. They're all invented by Lucifer. Snake Eyes. So Snake Eyes is kind of like, Snake Eyes is you're throwing it behind your back and then catching it in front of you at the extended arms without really looking, like looking straight at the camera, let's say. That's why, I think that's why you call it Snake Eyes. So the other one is called the Guillotine. So Guillotine, I'm going to throw it right on top of my copy. Guillotine is over the neck, across, and then down. The important part about the guillotine is that the catch got to be for the full extended arm with like a backhand extended arm. You can't really go like this, or you know, like I have a hard time doing guillotines. I haven't done a guillotine in a year or two probably. So guillotine is like this. Wow, I just got the blade there. But that's what it is, right? So over the neck, extended arm catch. Another one is a hard one is the meat grinder. So the meat grinder is the same idea. You throw up over the neck and it's an actual transfer, and a lot of people just do like cheap behind the back like that. It's not really a meat grinder when you're just catching it with like this. This is just a behind the back aerial transfer, right? It's not really a meat grinder. So this one here, behind the back aerial transfer. But a meat grinder is more like this. So you're throwing it and then you're catching it like that. I might not land it, but that's it. Alright, so meat grinder is like this. It's a hard one. And a lot of people ask me to do the XO. The XO is a double meat grinder, right? So throw two knives across behind the back and catch like this. Right? So that's an XO. I did it once. Slash has done it. And it was invented by Ed. If you can do an XO, link me. I'd love to see it. So of course Van Gogh. Van Gogh is a classic one, right? So Van Gogh, the important thing to remember with the Van Gogh is you want to release the throw before you move your hand, right? See how my catching hand stayed down until I catch it? The big thing that we don't want to see is this. Right? That just looks stupid. Right? So basically, the longer you wait to put your hand there, the better. So it's very Smurfy to just go like this. Look. I remember learning the Van Gogh. I had to stand in front of the mirror to do it. It's a tough one to catch. It's a tough one to throw. And that's it. So, how can I forget the Jackie Chan? So for FACO or for Fat Tuck 11, they had an error around, and I did like, you know, some stupid like, and then I finished with a Jackie Chan. So Jackie Chan is a different. It's an underleg aerial. So you throw under the leg like this, but your catch is the same hand, same arm, like this, right? So inside the same arm, like this. So you throw. First try. So Jackie Chan is a really hard one. You really got to position your hand. You got to wait for the knife to fall, and you got to position your hand underneath your arm like that. Boom, catch it. Right? Really hard. The best thing about aerials is combining aerials. So, you know, doing a double scissor to Van Gogh, or behind the back, you know, under the leg to behind the back catch. Oh yeah. Wow, that was a double cut. 2 cuts in the once. Terrible. So that's the best part, right? Throwing behind the back, catching it under the leg. Do a halo to a Van Gogh. That's the best parts. So there's limitless possibilities in aerials. The best part is just exploring, inventing your own. I invented one the other day, the morning poop aerial. So the morning poop aerial is something I invented long ago for a JD competition. And it consists of throwing underneath, like, it's a double underneath the leg, right? Like that, right? The other day I invented the jumping underneath the leg aerial. So like this, really hard, right? Coming up with new stuff, ridiculous stuff is fun. They might not be the most practical aerials. They might not be done by a lot of people. I actually was really surprised and delighted to see that Slash and a few other people have tried to do the morning poop aerial transfer. Oh, how can I forget Hacks? Fucking Hacks. I don't have shoes on. So Hacks is like the hacky aerial, right? So there's a controversy on who invented Hacks. They say Droop Dog has invented the Hacks, but Fake actually says that he invented Hacks. So who did? You know, Fake says he invented everything with Gunny. So, but Droop Dog is an old flipping arena member. Anyways, this is gonna turn into another file. God damn it. Anyways, thanks for watching. So, anyways, I'll just go through some hack aerials. I have to edit this anyways. So, hack aerials, right? So you get there's no real name for like the inside ones, right? There's like this, like, and then there's the outside ones I like to do. And then there's a jester hack aerials, which is like this. So jumping jester, like that, right? I can do that one pretty consistent with shoes on. I'm not gonna go get shoes because I'm lazy. But last year I invented a couple more, like where the knife goes over your arm and then a jester, and then over your leg, and then under your leg, and then a jester again. Anyways, there's a whole fuck ton of aerial. So it's one of the things where you're not limited by the motion of your hands, right? So you're limited by the motion of the air, right? So like literally your limitless, your possibilities are limitless. So if I forgot anything, please comment below. Let me know. People wanted to know the play on my knives, so I'm just gonna start showing the play on my knife after video's done. So this is the AB, and I like play on my knives. I think I'll do a video on play just because it really is a topic that a lot of people think, oh, no play on the knife is the best. A lot of people don't think that, right? And maybe it's better for the knife to be tight because it probably lasts longer, but we have some people have a tendency to love floppy knives because they tend to have more soul. They have tendency to do a bit more stuff, right? So anyways, we'll talk about that next time. Thanks for watching. Props for anyone who's still watching after 20 odd minutes. See you tomorrow.